Bonjour or good morning, ladies and gentlemen here. We are at Canon's booth, and today we have wonderful guests Jennifer and Volker, and of course my dear co-host, Pat McGrew.
Yay! Yay.
So good morning and welcome to our Bonjour. Let's start with you, Jennifer. You said to me before that you have already now had a wonderful show, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And by the way, I didn't know that you're speaking French. Bonjour in the morning. Very nice.
That is the only French you can do.
No, we had a really great show, as you hear. For my voice is not during the night, but during the day that we're talking so much because, yeah, the booth is full. We have lots to show, lots to discover, and people really like it. So it has been an extremely positive vibe. Don't know how about you, but...
Well, it worked quite nicely. We are very pleased with the traffic. In fact, it's a little bit better than 2016, 15% approximately. Traffic is really good in Hall 1 always, apparently. And we had some 250 people from the factory yesterday there as well. Oh, my phone's ringing, sorry.
Because you're popular.
No, pleased. We are satisfied.
That's not too bad.
No, so Jennifer, when you walk through the Canon stand, it's circular and it's very interactive. And what I've heard from printers who've been walking through is they come to look at one thing. They go, I'm really only interested in one thing, but they get pulled in by the rest of the stand. So they might leave, but they tell me they come back over and over again to see all the things that are going on. So when you had the design concept put together, what was the goal of telling the story?
Well, I mean, exactly what you just said. It's about starting with conversations that you didn't think you might have at the beginning, inspiring people, talking about the collaboration that we have with our current customers and using those examples also to just grab the attention of others and say, like, you know what, there's more to it, there's more to Canon than technology. Although technology innovations are great, but what can I do with it? How does it really help my business? And the best thing that you tell that in print is by showing print and by talking print, and that's exactly what we're doing, right? The power to move. That's
that's great. And what is quite interesting is also that we spoke about before camera was turned on that you're also so engaged and involved in the book production market. Of course, we see the big machine just. A little bit down here. And Volker, you are introducing a new book line here. We saw that in Sofing in Switzerland. I thought that books were dying, right?
No, in fact, books are the most resilient product amongst all you have in the graphic arts industry. And what we had seen in particular during the COVID crisis, that has even peaked. So, and we kind of sustain it, maintain it. However, the way how you will produce products will significantly change back from very large runs like the Harry Potters down to product of one, and this is what we showcase on our booth, explain and consult the clients how to cope with that trend and show solutions that will in the long term secure their business.
I would think the Müller Martini equipment is so perfectly spaced for someone who's like in a mid-tier who is a printer but hasn't touched books yet. You make it so easy for them to bring that book line in. You help them with the workflow. Have you found that there are a lot of new to publishing, new to book printing people coming to you?
I think so, yes, because we decided to not bring any conventional equipment with us for the heavy large runs because that's well known. I mean, everybody knows about Müller Martini for the rather big products, industrial purpose. That's why we said, let's try and have this more like a digital appeal. That's why our motto was picked with driving the digital transformation. And the aim was to really showcase how to cope with that situation. And with this, we could attract a lot of new clients. And with our world premiere, with the Hankela Starbook sheet folder, that even underlines that situation. Because now we are entering also the cut sheet digital press market, which we haven't before. We were the rather big ships, and with this, we kind of cope with that new trend.
I think that's why you're seeing all those extra people coming to your stand.
And Jennifer, I can't help think about, because when Pat talks about workflow and we talk about books, I guess that when we talk about the digital transformation, some customers may need a little bit help also on the strategy side. I know that you also spend a lot of time on helping people to understand how let's say the new reality of business, because I mean, one thing is that you talk about books of one. I think that most people understand that you cannot have an account management structure like in the old times selling one book, right? So what do you do actually in order to help your customers?
Well, I mean, first of all, as you say, technology innovation is one thing. Now we make it happen, book of one, or down to the copy of one. But there's a whole business model behind it that needs to change, right? How do I work with publishers? Do I self-publish? Is there a large publisher behind it? Who prints? Is it the distributor? Is it the printer? So what we're doing is, as you know, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary of the Future Book Forum last year. And Future Book Forum really is a platform that we, in a community that we bring together between publishers, book producers, and book distributors to find out how do we best work together right now, but also for a more sustainable future. And I think the activities that are coming out of that, the work streams for the Publishing 2030 Accelerator, for example, trying to see how do we make sure that we're not producing books in bulk, that we're not throwing away lots of waste, lots of inventory, that we're producing as close to where we're selling the product as possible. I'm
a little bit sorry to interrupt. I'm a little bit curious if it's okay that I jump in here because Volker, I was just thinking that Canon, of course, as we spoke about, have a big booth here with a lot of different technologies. And now we spoke about the book, which is also something that is important to Müller Martini. I was just wondering because, I mean, if you look at the market and a lot of interest also in let's say, small run and personalized packaging, are you considering entering into the packaging market with Müller Martini Hunkler as well, or how do you see?
Not at this point in time. Whatever we do, we stick to the finished product by the means of books, magazines, soft and hardcover products. That's what we know of. And that's why we decided to stick with that, because we still believe in the future of these products. And that's why we said no diversification at this point in time. Whenever there is a chance for acquisitions, we do that, like with the Kolloczek or with the Hunkler acquisition. But that will stick to our core market segment. However, with the Hunkler acquisition, we do get also the transactional market that comes with it.
Yeah, that's new to you guys, right?
But what we're seeing actually is that the segments grow together, and a clear distinction between those segments has become almost impossible because everybody looks into producing books because of the strong future of the book. That's why it fits very well. And
I'm glad you mentioned magazines too, because we heard in the Drupa Next Stage Forum a couple of days ago, one of the speakers was talking very specifically about magazines. And everyone thinks that printed magazines are dying, but he says that there are more titles every year now than ever before. They're shorter run, they're maybe shorter number of pages, but the opportunity for magazine finishing is massive. And of course, books are not always books, right? Sometimes they're annual reports, sometimes they're pitch books. There are so many things that have that book format that we don't really call books, and those are expanding.
And Pat, just to follow up on that, which is super great, here at Canon's booth, the first day at the show, we did an interview with a very exciting woman that is Deborah from, I think her name was Deborah from Poco, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was on the programmatic programming.
Yeah.
And that is very interesting because, I mean, that opens up how, let's say, how we bridge the e-world with the physical world into even the
how to create one experience
and everything like that. It's totally super interesting, right?
And that so much space is wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, they did an amazing job, the whole team, our team together with the Poco team to create that and to bring print to life and what you can do with print. But I think it's that there's so much content out there, right? So much digital content that you can produce. You just said magazines or books, and there's so much data. If we use it the right way, then we print very, very relevant.
We all want things that are relevant to us, and one of the things I'm guilty of, when I pick up the newspaper, I have the sections I always go to first. And then I wander back maybe to the rest of it. And magazines, I kind of know who I like to read, so I read their articles first, and then I wander back.
I have been at Pat's at home, right? And I just imagine now how you sit in the morning with your coffee and all the papers and all the dogs throwing
And
around
the dogs,
you, right?
yeah. And now the babies. Yeah.
And now the babies,
now
yeah.
the babies.
Volker, even though that you and Jennifer didn't know each other personally, of course, the collaboration between giants like both of you, how is that working out for you guys? I mean, the collaborative mindset I see more and more in the industry.
I mean, sorry, question was to you. Go ahead.
Well, we have a global, not a global, but a resale agreement with Canon in the US that works out nicely. This is particular to addressing the entrance market levels from our perspective by the means of having digital saddle stitchers, the smaller scale perfect binder as the Vareo. But now comes also the part of Hankala, and they partnered, of course, for decades. And we need to leverage that, and we will need to look into that. There is a very bright future, I think, and with the latest announcement of you guys, as we have a very close relationship to Heidelberg, that even accelerates that, I believe, for your product. And I think there is a lot of future business to be done together.
Yeah, because I was thinking that you mentioned Heidelberg. You had a super announcement on the first day about Heidelberg and Canon working together on your inkjet. It was, I mean, when people ask me about the biggest surprise and the biggest takeaway from Drupa so far, I think that has been one of them. And the reason why I'm asking or talking about this is just because I think that emphasizing that this industry is huge, but it can still grow if we work together when you have the right solutions for the customers, right? And I mean, I guess that your role in the relationship to Canon with, as you say, with the Hunkler acquisition can only extend, basically, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we will not change anything to the current setup, so we will maintain that printer partner business, as they call it, as we do with the finishing partner. So by no means we will not allow the Hankler guys to sell unwinders to Mechanotechnica, a competitor of ours. So that will become more like a co-opetition. We need to learn that a little bit because we were not too much into that as Müller Martini.
I guess that we're all very protective of our brands when possible, right?
So I think we can learn a lot of the Hankler guys and then leverage that. And I think talking to the press manufacturers, they look for end-to-end solutions. And once the printed paper leaves the machine, it's of course not finished because you need a finished product, right? So that's where we come into play. That with our finishing kit, be it a saddle stitcher, be it a casing inline, be it a perfect binder, because once the product has been printed, it's only half ready.
We are just about on the last few minutes here because these gentlemen and
they have work to
gentlemen,
do.
what I'm stupid. The ladies and gentlemen are busy.
The lovely people we have.
The lovely people we have
the
here.
lovely people we
I like
have
that better.
actually have selling to do.
Yeah. But I was just thinking, last, let's say, a few things to talk about here is that on a personal note, when you come to Drupa after 8 years, I mean, did you have time to walk the floor and see also something else?
But I have to admit that I have not been outside that much yet. So the world today.
Not even at Rico's booth, or I mean your neighbor.
I can take a look, but I haven't been on the booth. I have to admit, no.
You're so
but
busy,
but I will. Yeah, it's very busy. But I'll walk the I'll walk the halls today. But I think just the vibe that we already feel here. I mean, I hope for everyone that's the vibe that you feel in every single hall. Just people getting together and really. There's no negativity. There's this, okay, you know what? There's so much growth out here. How do we make it happen? Yeah. And so very, very excited to be here and very excited to see everyone else today.
Yeah. And what about you?
Well, it's like coming home. It's my 7th Drupa.
7th?
Seeing the people come together from our market organizations because they have not met for the past 8 years. The Latinos with the Asians. This is like coming home for Christmas. Yeah. That was the picture I draw. But for 8 years, we have not seen each other. And seeing the energy and how the team functions together, that makes me really proud. And that gives me goosebumps if I talk about that. And of course, I mean, it's seeing a lot of old friends here. And it's just amazing. Yeah. And also new friends.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, do you have anything else we should bother these nice people with?
I think that I want to come back and have a chat with you after you've walked the halls, because what I've seen in the halls, and I haven't been to every single one yet, I'm missing 2 on my checkbook, but everyone I speak to is so excited to be here, to be able to touch machines, have conversations deeply, not over Zoom. They're just so excited that I want to hear how the rest of the show goes for you.
Would love to. Absolutely. You're always welcome to come back. All of you, of course.
Thank you very
More
much.
conversations.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and audience of English, thank you very much for taking time to dig into this Bonjour. I think it was a wonderful opportunity. So also thank you to you guys.
Thank you.
And
Thanks a lot for
have
having us.
some good days ahead of you.
You
Thanks
too.
a lot.
Merci.